The story centers on a man named Kyle. He is a successful diamond dealer, and it shows. He drives an expensive car, lives in a luxurious home, and shares it with his wife and daughter. Everything he has comes from one key skill, his ability to negotiate. In a business like his, being persuasive is not just helpful, it is essential. At home, his wife Sarah is dealing with a different kind of negotiation. Their daughter Avery is trying to convince her to let her go to a party. Sarah refuses.
I guarantee he's 100% reliable. Thanks.
It's this guy Jake's house. Everyone's going.
Why can't you tell me who you're going with?
Meanwhile, Kyle is still on the phone with a client, talking business from the moment he is behind the wheel until he walks through the front door. After finishing his call, Kyle heads to a hidden safe to retrieve an important document. At the exact same time, Avery quietly slips out of the house to attend the party anyway. The home is equipped with a sophisticated security system, but Avery knows the passcode. Getting out is easier than her mother thinks. Her friend is already waiting by the side of the road. On the way to the party, they nearly crash into a streetlight, saved only because Avery warns her friend in time.
Kendra!
Once they arrive, Avery meets the young man hosting the party. He clearly has a crush on her and invites her up to his parents' private room. Inside, he opens his father's safe. It is filled with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, but he is not after the money. Instead, he takes a small amount of narcotics that belong to his father, planning to use them with Avery. Realizing this has crossed a line, Avery decides to leave and takes a taxi home.
Do you want some blow?
You want some of this?
Oh, no, I'm okay. Just gonna...
Where are you going?
Somewhere I can throw up.
Back at the house, Kyle and Sarah are getting ready to go out for dinner. Just as they are about to leave, there is a knock at the door. Two men claim to be police officers. They say there has been a recent robbery in the area, and they need to ask a few questions. The officers insist on speaking to every member of the household, so Kyle asks Sarah to call Avery down from her room. The moment Kyle opens the door wider, the two supposed officers suddenly attack him. Sarah immediately realizes they are not real police. She runs toward the garage to escape in the car, but once outside, she sees Kyle with a gun pointed at him. In an instant, Kyle and Sarah are trapped inside their own home with 4 intruders, one of them a woman.
So, that little daydream we discussed. Just a minute.
I found this. Yeah, well, it's not just this. There were cigarettes out by the pool. Do you think she's smoking?
I'm worried about her. Here.
The area because there's been a rash of burglaries.
Get Avery. Sarah, run! Fucking face down.
Their perfect home is no longer a sanctuary. This is trespass. Trespass. However, the robbers move aggressively, tearing through the house and demanding the password to disable the security system. Once the system is shut down and the police can no longer be alerted, they remove a painting from the wall, revealing a hidden safe behind it. Somehow, they know exactly where it is. They order Kyle to open it. Even with Sarah being threatened, Kyle refuses. When Kyle asks what they are really after, one of the robbers makes it clear. They want the diamonds inside the safe. This is where Kyle shifts into what he does best. He starts negotiating. He questions them calmly, asking who will cut the diamonds. Every diamond in the United States is officially registered by size, weight, and shape. The only way to resell them safely is to alter their form, which means cutting them, and that requires expertise. Kyle explains that in their hands, those diamonds would become nearly worthless. Even if they manage to change the size or shape, proper documentation is still required. Without it, the stones cannot legally circulate. Kyle quickly realizes something terrifying. If these robbers get their hands on the diamonds, there is a strong chance he and Sarah will not make it out alive. So he shifts his strategy. The only way to survive is to make himself useful. He offers them a deal. He will personally cut the diamonds and sell them on their behalf. They get the money, and he and his wife get a guarantee of safety. But the idea is dismissed almost immediately. It sounds complicated and time-consuming.
You know what, Kyle?
Open it!
No.
In your hands, they go back to being nothing but rocks. You, to us, we'll be partners. Everybody wins, and everybody lives. So recut diamonds without a certificate, the buyer's gonna know they're stolen.
One of the robbers suggests a simpler option. Just take the cash inside the safe. During their surveillance, they had seen Kyle buying diamonds and carrying large amounts of cash. They are convinced there is plenty of money stored away. At that moment, Sarah begins to recognize one of them. He is the technician who had previously worked on their home security system. The same man who would have known the layout of the house. The same man who could have been watching them all along. Kyle still refuses to open the safe. No one understands how whatever is inside could be worth more than their lives. Frustrated, the leader of the robbers walks straight up to Sarah and threatens to shoot her. But Kyle's stubbornness is not without reason. He knows that once he opens the safe, there is nothing stopping them from killing both of them anyway. What he wants is certainty, a real guarantee that once the safe is opened, they will be allowed to live.
All you have to do is just let my wife go! I'll open the safe and make you rich.
The leader claims he has a solution. He pulls out a syringe filled with a sedative, something he says can paralyze a person within minutes. According to him, once Kyle opens the safe, they will inject both him and Sarah. By the time they wake up, the robbers will be long gone. Time is running out, and the leader pressures Kyle to trust him, insisting that no one will get hurt if he cooperates. For a moment, it seems like he has control of the situation. Then suddenly, one of the other robbers, a large and aggressive man, escalates things. The tension explodes when he threatens to actually shoot Sarah. Amid the chaos, something else becomes clear. The robber who reacts most strongly to the threat against Sarah is the leader's younger brother. His name is Jonah. He is the same technician who had been inside this house several times before. Jonah's concern is not professional, it is personal. He has secretly developed feelings for Sarah and has been watching her whenever he came to fix the security system.
I'm gonna stick you with this shit. By the time you wake up, we're in Mexico.
Time's up.
Leave her alone! Leave her the fuck alone! You told me nobody was gonna touch her! You promised!
Didn't take your pill.
While Kyle remains firm, the leader pulls Sarah aside into the kitchen to speak with her privately, hoping she can persuade her husband to cooperate. The leader, whose name is Elias, removes his mask in an attempt to gain her trust. He insists that they only want money and have no intention of harming anyone. While he tries to convince her, Sarah quietly takes the syringe from inside his jacket. She then agrees to talk to her husband. Just as Sarah returns to Kyle, Avery suddenly comes home from the party. She is quickly caught by Jonah and forced to join her parents.
Never have to know about this. And I good girl.
Mom?
Run, Avery! Avery!
Now that the whole family is together, Elias once again pressures Kyle to open the safe. But this time, the dynamic shifts. Sarah suddenly turns the tables by threatening to inject Elias with the sedative she secretly took earlier. Unlike Kyle, who has been fixated on protecting whatever is inside the safe, Sarah has only one priority. She wants her family alive. Instead of fighting for control, she urges her husband to open the safe and end this nightmare as quickly as possible. Under pressure from his wife, Kyle finally agrees. He unlocks the safe in front of everyone.
I have a choice.
I have to leave here with $180,000.
I shoot you up with this and you know it! No! Do it! Because I don't give a fuck anymore!
Sarah.
Open the safe!
It is completely empty. In that moment, with his family and the robbers staring at him, Kyle finally tells the truth. He is bankrupt. He just never told them. All those important documents he had been signing were not business deals. They were loan papers. The house they live in, the expensive car he drives, all of it was bought on borrowed money. And the bank is about to take everything back.
Where's the money?
There's no fucking money. I never owed them. I'm a middleman living on credit. Honey, they fired me, honey. We're broke.
Oh, bullshit! Bullshit!
Elias is furious. He slams Kyle onto a table and prepares to hurt him. But before things go further, the large and aggressive robber, Dylan, receives a call from their boss, demanding an update. At the same time, the female robber, Petal, suddenly retreats to a room, clearly shaken. It is revealed that Petal is Elias's girlfriend and Jonah is his younger brother. The robbery is not random. They are trying to repay a massive debt to a ruthless mafia boss. Dylan has been sent to supervise the operation and make sure they deliver. With the safe a dead end, Elias shifts his focus. He remembers the diamond necklace Sarah is wearing in a photograph. Their debt is $200,000, and that necklace would more than cover it. Once the necklace is in his hands, there is no more room for negotiation. Their faces are exposed. Their names are known.
That's the way you want it, yuppie.
How we doing?
We're under control.
That's what Elias says.
Oh, no.
No one's running.
No, man. No one's running.
To clean up the mess, Elias believes there is only one option left. eliminate the entire family. Seeing Sarah terrified, Jonah tries to comfort her, insisting that he cares deeply about her and will not let anything happen to her. Soon after, Elias prepares to carry out the execution and orders Jonah to erase the CCTV footage. Jonah makes one thing clear. Sarah and Avery are not to be touched. As for Kyle, he does not care what happens to him. His obsession with Sarah outweighs everything else. While retrieving the security recordings, Jonah drifts back to the moment he first convinced himself he was in love with Sarah. It happened when he had snuck into their backyard pool without permission. When Sarah caught him, he approached her and crossed a serious line. She stood frozen in shock, but Jonah misread her silence. In his mind, it meant she felt the same way.
Sarah?
Get your stuff and leave.
You know what happens next, right?
We return to Elias, who now claims he has no choice but to eliminate Kyle and his family. He even expresses regret, as if this is simply business that has gone too far. But once again, Kyle manages to stall the inevitable. He reveals that the diamond necklace they took is fake. He insists that if Elias does not believe him, he can test it himself. Real diamonds are incredibly strong and do not shatter easily. If the necklace breaks under pressure, then it is not real. Elias decides to check. The necklace is struck, and it breaks. It is fake, just as Kyle said. Whether Kyle is a genius who planned this in advance, or a man who already knew about Sarah's affair with Jonah is unclear. But in that moment, his quick thinking buys them time. Kyle takes advantage of the distraction. He throws a chair at one of the robbers. Sarah manages to escape, while Kyle is forced into a brutal struggle with Dylan, who is far stronger. When Dylan tries to inject him with the sedative, Kyle fights back and turns the syringe against him. Dylan ends up injecting himself and collapses.
Your loving wife, she fucked my baby brother.
He's lying.
Get that tweaking bitch.
The shattered glass triggers the home security system, sending an emergency alert to the monitoring center. An operator immediately calls the house to check what is happening. Since the operator insists on speaking with a family member, Jonah drags Avery out of hiding and forces her to answer. With her father being threatened, Avery tells the operator that she was just throwing a party and accidentally broke a window. A patrol unit is about to be dispatched, but Avery quickly asks them not to come, afraid her parents will find out about the party. At the same time, Sarah is captured again by Elias. The family is brought back together inside the house. Furious and pushed to his limit, Elias shoots Kyle in the thigh, leaving him screaming in pain. Now Elias finally reveals the full story. He explains that this all began when a mafia boss trusted him and Petal to sell a shipment of narcotics. On their way back, they were ambushed and robbed. The drugs were stolen, and the debt fell on them. They owed the boss everything. That was when Jonah, who worked as a home security technician, suggested robbing Kyle's house, believing he was wealthy enough to solve their problem. Elias shares this not out of sympathy, but in hopes that Kyle will finally reveal where he is hiding his money. Still, Kyle insists he is broke. Meanwhile, Petal makes a shocking discovery. Inside Kyle's suitcase, she finds a photograph. It shows Jonah and Sarah in a compromising situation by the pool. That means Kyle has known about the affair all along. Perhaps that is why he has been so stubborn. Maybe he would rather die than hand over money to the man who betrayed him with his own wife. When Jonah sees Sarah being struck by Elias, he loses control. The two brothers turn on each other, shouting accusations. Elias blames Jonah for caring more about another man's wife than his own family. Not long after, the doorbell rings. It is a patrol officer sent by the security operator to check on the house. With no convincing excuse ready, Elias has no choice but to let him in. The moment the officer steps inside, Jonah shoots him from behind. Now there is no room left for hesitation.
Selling dope.
Back off. You're a coward, you know that?
Oh, you fucking psycho!
Elias demands that Kyle hand over money immediately. Watching her father bleeding and in pain, Avery finally speaks up. She says she can get the $200,000 Elias wants. Earlier that day at her friend's party, Avery saw stacks of cash inside her friend's father's safe. There was definitely more than enough. If money is all Elias cares about, she is willing to go get it. Petal goes with her to make sure she does not run. Avery drives her father's sports car toward her friend's house. As Petal keeps threatening her the entire way, Avery grows frustrated. Then she makes a split-second decision. She speeds up and deliberately crashes the car into a utility pole. the same one she nearly hit earlier that day. Before the impact, she quietly unfastens Petal's seatbelt while keeping her own on.
No, please, stop. I can get you your money. $200,000 cash.
You know my plan, huh? You're gonna do shit.
Avery survives the crash. Petal does not. Avery manages to return home alone, determined to save her parents. Back at the house, Jonah approaches Kyle and confidently insists that he loves Sarah. But his confidence is built on delusion. After that disturbing moment by the pool, Sarah had been shocked and tried to make it clear that she was loyal to her husband. Jonah, however, has a troubled mind. He convinced himself that her silence meant she felt the same way. Strangely, Kyle seems to believe Jonah more than his own wife. Everything that has happened feels connected to Sarah's past interaction with Jonah, as if it somehow set all of this in motion. Realizing the situation is spiraling out of control, Kyle makes one final appeal. If Jonah truly loves Sarah, he should take her and Avery and leave before Elias kills them all. Just as Jonah prepares to move Sarah out, Dylan suddenly regains consciousness and attacks him. Elias reacts instantly and shoots Dylan to save his brother.
Do you love her? And she loves me. Take her, find Avery before that jackass kills her.
As Dylan lies dying, he reveals a devastating truth. Jonah was one of the masked men who ambushed Elias and stole the narcotics that night. He profited from that robbery and left his own brother drowning in debt to the mafia boss. Elias is stunned. His own brother set him up, all for the chance to invade this house and take Sarah away from her husband. But the shocks are not over. Amid the chaos, Sarah and Kyle manage to escape to a storage shed beside the house. Elias follows and catches Sarah from behind. In the struggle, he and Jonah crash through a thin plywood wall, exposing bundles of cash hidden inside. Kyle had been hiding money after all. With the truth laid bare, Elias prepares to kill them. Then Avery returns, alone, holding a gun. When Elias learns that Petal is dead, his grief turns into rage. He threatens to execute Sarah first. And in a final, unexpected twist, Jonah steps forward and shoots his own brother.
Leave her alone! Where's Petal?
With a strange sense of confidence, Jonah urges Sarah and Avery to leave with him. In his mind, there is no reason for them to stay with a man who values money more than his own family. He believes he is offering them a better future. That is when Kyle finally reveals the truth about the hidden cash. He admits he kept the money secret so the bank would not seize it. He was not protecting wealth for himself. He was trying to secure something for his family before everything collapsed. Jonah refuses to see it that way. Still convinced of his own version of reality, he tells Sarah to gather the money and prepare to leave with him. But in the chaos, Kyle notices gasoline spilled nearby. In a desperate move to protect his wife and daughter, he sets it on fire. Flames begin to spread quickly. Sarah and Avery manage to escape first. Kyle stays behind just long enough to grab a nail gun and shoot Jonah in the leg, stopping him from fleeing. Wounded and trapped, Jonah is left behind as the fire consumes the building.
He didn't love you.
Was saving it for my family.
Run.
No!
Take him.
In the end, Jonah dies in the flames, destroyed by his obsession and betrayal. Kyle, Sarah, and Avery survive. They walk away from the nightmare, shaken but alive. So the moral of the story is never mix fake diamonds, secret debt, crazy crushes, and hidden cash in the walls. Because someone will definitely end up on fire, and it will not be the diamond.